The young person who sparked the beginning of Huw Edwards' downfall has demanded to know why the BBC newsreader was not jailed, fearing he could prey on young people like him again. The 21-year-old, whose mum and stepdad blew the whistle on Edwards paying him £35,000 in return for X-rated images, blasted the judge for letting him go free. "Edwards ruined my life and the victims in this case can't be forgotten too," he said. "It's quite disgusting that people like this get to roam the streets while others are in jail for petty theft, and more minor crimes. He is free to walk around and do whatever he wants. He could easily do it again, who knows?" In the end, Edwards was given a 6-month suspended prison sentence after he admitted making indecent images of children. "They said he couldn't go to prison because of his mental health and I just thought, what a load of rubbish. He shouldn't be allowed to get away with it," he added. While not connected to the court case, the man was just a teenager living in Cardiff when he struck up a friendship with Edwards on Instagram. Homeless at the time and needing money for hotels, he was grateful when Edwards began depositing large sums of money in his account. In return, he says he felt compelled to send him X-rated pictures and videos. He has previously told the Mirror that he felt groomed by the BBC star over the course of their 3-year relationship. The young adult said today he was horrified after learning during Edwards' separate court case how the news anchor was messaging pedophile Alex Williams at the same time as him. And in a strikingly similar experience, the court heard how Edwards gave Williams cash and Nike trainers in return for all the hot videos. "I felt sick when I heard that we were messaging around the same time, and we're both so young," he says. "I was speechless, but at the end of the day I just feel for the victims and the children that have been harmed. It's just sick." The young man has since moved away from Cardiff and lives hundreds of miles from his mum and stepdad, from whom he is estranged. Police found no illegality when they looked into his case, but he says that hearing details from when Edwards pleaded guilty in July until sentencing on Monday has taken its toll. "I keep getting flashbacks of what happened and that fact I had improper relationship with a pedophile," he says. "In my head at the time I saw it as him helping me, but it just didn't connect in my brain at the time that these actions weren't coming from a good place. I felt like I owed something to him but now just feel shame and guilt. I can't sleep thinking of my relationship with this man." One payment from Edwards was transferred to the young person's bank account with a message which said simply, "Be loyal." The young man also claimed for the first time that he and Edwards did actually meet up. He has previously said how his mum foiled an earlier rendezvous, when Edwards arranged to meet him at Cardiff train station, after she read his messages. Her partner then filmed the BBC man on the platform, but he says they did spend time together on one occasion in Cardiff. "I was walking around with him and he just didn't care who saw him with me," he says. "He's from Wales and probably one of the most famous faces we've got, but he didn't have a care in the world being seen with me." The Mirror told yesterday how Edwards' grip on him meant he protected him when the story first broke last year. The newsreader had paid for the young man's legal fees and he initially authorized a statement describing the allegations as rubbish. In an unpublished interview with the Mirror just days after the scandal broke, he first claimed that Edwards had saved his life and that nothing untoward happened. It was a version of events he later retracted after Edwards pleaded guilty to receiving dozens of sickening indecent images of children. The charge of making indecent images includes opening and downloading them but not producing or filming. Speaking to Us Near, where he now lives in the north of England, he said he felt compelled to lie because of Edwards' well-documented mental health issues. "I was very scared when this all happened," he said. "I felt like if I didn't comply, he would have done something to himself. And I thought that would be my fault. I didn't want anyone's life to be in my hands." The young person is particularly angry at the BBC, who he says protected the star. He is equally aghast that they continued to pay him after news emerged of Edwards' arrest. "They could have looked into him a bit more, instead of basically allowing him to behave like a kid in a playground. He was just allowed to do what he wanted, and he got too big for his boots." As for the future, while happy with a new partner at job, the young man is considering moving abroad. He sees no way forward for reconciliation with his mum despite begrudgingly saying she was right to blow the whistle on his relationship with Edwards. He is furious for her branding him a ghost-like crack addict as well as saying Edwards' cash was fueling his habit. He passed a drugs test overseen by the Mirror last month, and a hair test last summer showed no trace of crack metabolites over a 3-month period, including the time his mum first made the allegations. "It did show a trace amount of cocaine," he said. "I feel pushed out of my hometown. I feel very let down with what she said about me. Maybe my future is being as far away as possible." The Metropolitan Police and South Wales Police said in 2023 they found no evidence of criminal offences in relation to his own relationship with Edwards.